Let's come into our, Danny, there's someone in the waiting room. So let's come into our Sukhasana. Coming into your comfortable seat, Sukhasana. Legs folded, perhaps you're sitting on a block or a folded blanket. I've invited you to have available any props you need, low footstool, low chair, blocks, or be close to a wall so that we can bring the earth up towards us for balance, and a folded blanket to place underneath our knees for when we need some extra protection to pad those joints. Our mudra for today is Gyan. So thumb and index together, Gyan mudra. This is one of the most commonly used mudras or seals, gesture of energy. So essentially, these hasta mudra, these hand gestures, guide the energy, help us to direct our attention and our awareness. So thumb and index together. Gyan mudra is the seal or gesture of knowledge, wisdom. And today is, well, in this week we're celebrating Basant Panchami. Basant Panchami, which is a spring festival in India. And so our practice today is going to be inspired by the festival of spring in India, the season of spring. The deity goddess Saraswati. Saraswati, the goddess who sits on a white lotus flower, often has a swan by her side. You may see her holding a sitar or veena or sort of stringed instrument in two hands. So one hand up there to play the strings there and one down here. And then in the other two hands, she'll be holding mala beads to represent meditation, connecting with that sense of wisdom, and a book to representing the Vedas or the book of wisdom, learning. So in this spring practice, we're going to be bringing together the season of spring in India, Vasant or Basant, and the goddess Saraswati practice, the goddess of learning, wisdom, knowledge, the arts, the music. So our practice today is going to be a fluid practice, joyful, uplifting practice. I'm wearing yellow in particular because yellow is the color of spring. In India, everybody will be wearing yellow clothes, either shalwar kameez or sari, a turban or a scarf. They'll be singing and dancing, listening to music, eating food that are yellow, like jalebis and laddus and saffron rice and cornmeal roti, which is a bread, a round bread made out of cornmeal, and it's yellow with sarsan, the plant that grows in the fields with yellow flowers. So it's all about this uplifting color of sunshine today in our practice. Closing your eyes and in your mind's eye beginning to visualize color yellow, a yellow of flowers, of nature, the mustard flowers, marigolds, sunflowers, daffodils. Perhaps the sun itself. This season of Basant, a budding season for new life, new beginnings, beginning to break through the earth's cover, beginning to bloom, bud, flower. This new beginning, joy for new life. And as you visualize this color of yellow, Imagine that it is flowing with your breath, on your breath, part of your breath, inseparable from your breath. As you inhale, draw this breath down into your lungs and perhaps even further to your lower ribs, to your abdomen. And as you exhale, release the breath from your abdomen, lower ribs, lungs, releasing into the air. Inhaling, 3-part yogic breath, chest, ribs, abdomen. Exhaling, drawing the navel back towards the spine. Ribs curl in, chest falls, releasing this breath, this wispy breath with yellow as its hue. Inhaling, this Dirga Pranayam, chest, ribs open and lift, belly expands. Exhaling, navel to the spine, belly contracts, ribs curl in, chest falls. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling, releasing the breath. One more breath here, Dirga Pranayam. Our mantra for today is Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha, invoking the deity, the goddess Saraswati. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha, invoking her wisdom, knowledge, love of arts, the love of learning. The seed of learning that often begins our journey. Once we have knowledge, we know which way to move forward, which way we can grow our mind, grow our hearts, as well as grow in nature. Chanting Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha 3 times and then opening with Om 3 times. Inhaling, hands to your heart center in Namaskar. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om. 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 Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste. Sat Sri Akal. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to our practice today. So, Gyan Mudra, I invite you to take that during your practice. So, it's one you're going to be very familiar with. And the other mudra that I'm going to introduce to us today, so I'd like to introduce new mudras today to you on a regular basis, is the Saraswati mudra. And the Saraswati mudra is the index finger extended. Fold in your other fingers and then take your thumb underneath your middle and ring finger and thread the thumb between the ring and little finger so that you have, I'll just come and show you a little bit closer. So you'll see that my thumb is threaded through, and I'll bring my index together and all my fingers are folded in. My thumb is threaded through underneath my ring finger, resting on my little finger knuckle thereabouts, and then bring the tips of my index together. This is the Saraswati mudra. So this mudra, when I invite you to take this mudra during our practice, please come into this hand gesture, this Hasta mudra. Let's have that at the heart for the moment, lengthening through your spine, lengthening through your crown, up towards the sky. Imagine and visualize roots growing into the earth and the flower rising above your crown. One breath here. Let's bring the left hand on the earth and reach up and over with Gyan Mudra to come into this side stretch. Indulasana. Inhale through center over to the other side. Again, fingers in Gyan, thumb and index connected. 3 times in both directions. Inhaling to come to center. Exhaling to flow up and over. And if you wish, you can bring your forearm onto the earth, or you can leave your hand on the earth. Last time. And then back to center. Inhale, let's come into our Saraswati Mudra. So fold in your middle and ring, thread the thumb underneath and over the index, over the little finger index together. I know what I'm saying, I just can't put the words together. Inhale, reach up above your crown. Hold here. Perhaps you lift your gaze up towards the sky. Deep breath here. As you exhale, we're going to take the left hand behind us and the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Gaze over your left shoulder. One more breath here. Inhale back to center. Come back into your mudra. It'll come easy each time you practice your mudra. Index extended, touching. Thumb folded underneath middle and ring finger. Threaded past the ring finger so that it touches the little finger, which is also folded in. Reaching up, growing tall here. Draw in your navel. As you exhale, let's turn to the right. Gaze over your right shoulder. Right hand behind you. Left hand the outside of your right knee. And there I'm coming into the Gyan Mudra. And when the palms face down, this variation is called Chin Mudra for those of you who are interested in such things. One more breath, back to center, coming back into your Saraswati Mudra. Index fingers extended and touching. Middle and ring folded with thumb underneath. Thumb threaded through past the ring and resting on the little finger, which is also folded in. One more breath here. And let's release our hands. Take a moment here. If you're sitting on a block or a folded blanket, release it now. Let's extend the left leg long. So your right foot is folded in here. So I'm going to create a little bit of space for myself here so you can see me. Right foot folded in, left leg extended. Flex your foot here. Take a moment here. We're going to move into Janu Sirsasana. Take a full breath. Inhale. Let's reach up. And as you exhale, fold over your left leg, reaching towards your toes. I have here my Saraswati Mudra. You can come into that or you can come into Gyan Mudra. Reaching as far forward as you can. Crown reaching towards the feet, heart reaching towards the thigh. One more breath here. Inhale to reach up, maintain your mudra. Take your right foot over your left leg. And as you exhale, bring the right hand behind you and left elbow to the outside of your right knee. It's coming into this seated twist, Marichyasana. You can come into Gyan Mudra here. So right hand on the earth behind you. Right foot crossed over left leg. Left foot flexed here, lengthening through your crown. One more breath here. Inhale, turn to center with your head. Exhale, counter twist over to the left. Fingertips can come to the earth. You can gaze down towards the earth. Unwrap that right foot again. Bring the right thigh back to the earth. Now we're going to move into pigeon kapotasana here. So see how this feels for you. Bend into your left knee. So you create a zigzag shape. Now you can stay in this variation, turning over to the right with your heart and then coming down towards the earth, either staying on your hands, coming onto your forearms, or perhaps bringing your eyebrow center down. This is the deer pose rotation. You can stay here. If you wish, you can roll onto the front of your left leg and reach, untuck your toes and reach behind with your left toes so that you come into kapotasana here. So adjust your right knee. Your right heel can be near your left hip, or you can have it a little bit more perpendicular. Depends on where you feel. So we'll be in two places here. We'll either have a zigzag in that left leg, so it's folded at the knee, or we'll have that leg extended behind us. And again, we can be on our hands, on our forearms, or we can bring our eyebrow center directly to the earth. Now, if you have lots of space, which I don't because my dogs take up all the space when I practice, I also invite you to extend your arms long. And I'm coming into my Saraswati mudra here as much as I can. Eyebrow center can rest directly on the earth, or it can be resting on a cushion. Just move my dog's head away. That's better. Kapotasana pigeon pose, or it's also known as sleeping swan pose when we come down towards the earth. This white swan that accompanies Saraswati. The swan known as Hamsa. Hamsa is a mantra which means, I am, who am I? What am I? A questioning, inquiring, curious swan, looking for answers, posing questions, seeking knowledge. One more breath here in Kapotasana, your variation with either the left leg extended or at an angle, folded in zigzag. Draw your hands up towards your body. Inhale to rise up. Now here, yogis, you have a choice. You can bend into your left leg and take hold of your toes so that you come into Raja Kapotasana, king pigeon. If you have your knees at a zigzag, you can turn over to the left leg. So two options. If you're in Kapotasana, you can bend into your left foot and take hold of that left foot, and everybody's going to be different here. Or if you have your left knee folded, you can counter twist. So we're getting the same experience, just in different ways. And this is how yoga is so accessible to all of us. In different ways, we can adapt and adjust the practice so that it suits our physical needs, not this idea of what yoga ought to be, but how it feels within our body and feeling the joy of the practice. So wherever you are, my lovelies, take a moment here. And then let's release our foot, roll onto our hip if we were in the extended leg variation. If we're in the zigzag, let's come back to center. Take a moment here. Now, from here, we're going to move into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So our right knee's already at a nice fold here. We're going to cross the left leg over the right and come into cow legs, cow face legs. If that doesn't feel accessible to you, you can extend the right leg and then fold over the left knee, over the right knee. So you can come into Ardha Gomukhasana, half cow pose, or Gomukhasana with both knees folded. So find what works for you, yogis. And then lengthen here wherever you are with your spine. Cow face pose. And again, let's practice our mudra. You'll be very familiar with Saraswati mudra by the end of this practice. Folding your middle fingers over your thumb and ring finger, and then fold in your little finger with thumb resting on the knuckle of your little finger and index fingers are extended and touching. And you can bring this at your heart. Think about what's new beginnings, new life, a fresh start that you hope to seed in spring, which you can nurture, hydrate to grow over the season. Perhaps you mentally or emotionally or visualize this, or in your imagination, in your mind's eye, visualize what it is that you wish to grow, to nurture, to plant. Or you can repeat our mantra for today, Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha, the Bija mantra, the seed mantra for Saraswati. Inhale, reach up above your crown with your mudra. One full breath here. Now we're going to extend over to the side. So let's bring the right hand to the earth first. Move over to the right with your Gyan Mudra. Inhale through center, reach up and over to the left. Again with your Gyan Mudra. One side will have more space than the other. Inhale to center, let's counter twist over to the right. Inhale through center, let's twist over to the left. Back to center, we're going to uncross our legs, so moving with care here. So we're going to swap legs over this time. So remember, we had the left leg extended last time. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the right leg long. So for the moment, let's have both legs extended. Flex your toes. Come into your mudra. Inhale to reach up. And as you exhale, let's fold forward. Now, only go as far as feels comfortable for you. So some of us may be very flexible and have a great deal of mobility in our spine. Some of us, like me, may not. So reach as far forward as feels comfortable for you. Draw in your navel. Reach through the index fingers. One full breath here. And then let's release our hands, uncurl our spine, come back to center and fold in the left leg. Then turn over to your right leg. And again, we're going to come into Janu Sirsasana. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward over your right leg. Again, reach as far forward as you can. Crown reaching towards your foot. Heart melting down towards the knee. And again, we will all be in completely different places here. You don't need to look like me, and I don't need to look like you. And keep visualizing this color yellow, this color of nature. One more breath here. And then let's inhale back to center. We're going to cross this left leg over the right leg. And exhale over to the left. Right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Fingers in Gyan. Left hand behind you. Marichyasana. Pose dedicated to the sage Marichi. Keep that right foot flexed. One more breath here. Inhale, head to center. Exhale over to the right for your counter twist. Back to center. And we're going to uncross this left leg. So we're now going to move into our variation Kapotasana or deer pose. So let's bend into the right knee if you're going for this option. And then turn over to the left. And your hands can be on the earth. Your forearms can be on the earth. You can extend your arms and bring your eyebrows center to the earth. If you want to move into Kapotasana, pigeon pose, roll onto the front of your right leg. You might need to shuffle around with your left knee here. And you might want to move your foot so it's more perpendicular depending on where you are. Your right leg is extended long behind you. Toes are untucked here. Lengthen through your crown and then come into your variation, either on your forearms. Come into your mudra, Saraswati mudra. Extend your arms long, eyebrow center, resting on the earth or on a cushion. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Invoking the love of learning, of knowledge, seeking wisdom, often through the arts and music. Saraswati is also the goddess of speech, vak, sound. So thinking about how we express ourselves through the arts, through music, through the spoken word, the poetic word. One more breath in your variation of Kapotasana or deer pose. Inhale to rise up, whichever variation you're in. Now, if you want to turn over to the right, you come into your twist here. If you're in Kapotasana and you want to move into Raja Kapotasana, King Kapotasana, bend into your right leg and reach back for your right foot. And again, we will all look quite different here, and we will all be in different places. Breathing through this. So you might notice that we're doing quite a lot of twists today. We are working with the Manipur chakra at the solar plexus. And the color here is yellow. The shape here is a downward pointing triangle. City of emeralds. This is the seat of transformation. So just as in spring, the seeds begin to transform into plants, we see transformation in the creation of new life. One more breath here, wherever you are. And then let's release the foot and everybody turn back to center. And we're going to move into Gomukhasana here. So we're going to keep that left knee bent unless we want to go into the half variation. So you can cross your right knee over your left. That left leg can be extended or folded, yogi's choice. Find the variation that works for you. And again, lengthen through your crown, your spine here. Let's bring our hands into our mudra. So remember, fold in your middle and ring finger over your thumb, and then fold in your little finger so your thumb rests on the knuckle and index pointed and connected here. Noticing how when you walk in nature in this season, those flashes of color that you notice that are a sign of a new season. Here in the UK, daffodils and crocus and primrose coming up. In India, the saraswati flower, marigold. Saraswati is the mustard seed flower. And it's particularly poignant at this time with the farmers' protests in India. When these festivals, these seasonal festivals are so much tied in with the agrarian calendar, the seasonal calendar by which farmers grow food to feed the world, to feed their community, feed their families. Let's take our Saraswati Mudra and reach overhead. We're going to exhale over to the left, coming into Gyan Mudra. Inhale through center, exhale over to the right. Inhale through center, let's twist over to the left. Inhale, twist over to the right. Back to center, and now we're going to release our legs here. So let's, instead of taking them wide, let's bring them together so that we can move into Paschimottanasana, forward fold. So legs together, feet flex, lengthen here, come into your mudra or reach your hands up. Remember, you can do Gyan Mudra here as well. Exhale, reach towards your toes. And if you wish, you can take hold of your toes or your legs or keep reaching forward. Paschimottanasana, forward fold. One more breath here. Keep your core engaged. Inhale to lift your hands to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down either side of you. Let's swing our legs around and come onto all fours. And now we're going to move into our classic cat-cow. Spinal flex. I know this might get a bit like every yoga session we do cat-cow. And that's really to get the spine moving so that we can protect our spinal health as we practice yoga. So inhaling cat, shining your heart, lifting your gaze, exhaling cow, Bhutiyasana, rounding through your spine. And the movement starts at the tailbone. One more wherever you are. And now let's walk our hands back towards our feet here. So you'll be upright here on your knees. You'll take a moment here. Keeping that right leg folded. Let's step forward with the left leg and extend that leg forward. If you want to hold onto the wall here, feel free to hold onto the wall. Flex that foot. Take a moment here. Let's bring your mudra to your heart. Inhale to reach overhead. So lengthen here. One breath here. Now, yogis, I invite you to take your right hand to the lower part of your back or your left hand as well. And open your heart, draw your shoulder blades together. So gentle back bend here. If you want to reach through that foot, you can reach through that foot or keep it flexed. If you are happy here, so drawing your shoulders, and it may not be very much of a noticeable movement here. Your shoulder blades are coming together. We're going to move into a variation of Ustrasana, camel pose. Reach for your right heel with your right hand. You can always tuck the toes of your right foot. Keep the heart reaching forward. Now we're balancing. You can always bring that left foot directly to the earth. And then if you feel comfortable here with your Gyan Mudra, reach your left arm overhead, but only if your back feels supported. One breath here. So there's a lot going on here. You're balancing. You've got your left leg extended. Remember, you might need to pad that right knee. You're coming into either a gentle back bend or you're coming into a half camel, Ardha Ustrasana. That left hand can keep supporting your back, or you could be reaching up and over. One more breath here. Let's bring our left arm forward. Bring your hands to the earth for a moment and slide that left foot here. Take a moment here. Have your gaze down towards the earth. Your neck is soft, your shoulders are soft, your crown is soft. So just a very gentle counter movement to the spine. One breath here. So I'm going to turn and face you so you can see me where we're going next. So from here, I'm going to invite you to come up onto your left knee here. Take a moment here and sink into, this is the point, sink into that right hip. You can have your mudra at your heart here. Take a moment here, really sinking low into that right hip. Hands reach overhead in your Saraswati mudra. And take as much space as you need to come into a really generous diagonal onto this right leg. So Anjaneyasana, low lunge, crescent lunge. One more breath here. Exhale, lower your hands to the inside of your left foot. Turn your right knee so that your foot turns to the back of your mat. So your left foot is still connected with the earth. You'll have a sort of a right angle in that foot. Your right knee, you've swung your lower leg round. Your foot is behind you. Your toes can be tucked or untucked of your right foot. That left hand on the inside of that left knee. Take a moment here. Inhale, reach up and overhead. One breath here. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now let's straighten out through that left leg, going into gate pose. And now you're beginning to recognize where we're going. We're going to go up and over towards the left with our Gyan Mudra. Through center. Let's bring the right hand to the earth. Reach up and over with the left arm. Gaze up towards the sky. One breath more. Then turn your gaze to the earth. Bring your left hand down. Turn the right foot so it's back to center. Bend in the left knee. And let's shake out the hips from left to right. Perhaps you turn over to the left to create a C shape. Turn over to the right to create a C shape. Oh, it's so lovely. Now we're going to go the other way. So let's come on to our knees. And remember, you can pad your knees here. Now I just got to remember which leg I need to step forward. I need to step forward with the right leg, I think. Yeah, definitely. Step forward with the right leg here. Take a moment here. And we're going to begin to come into our Saraswati Mudra. So folding your fingers, reach up and overhead. So fairly neutral here. So you'll see my left leg is neutral here. And then I'm going to reach forward with my right toe and flex my heel. Support my lower back here. Coming into my variation, if you're near a wall, remember you can hold the wall with your hand. Hands on your lower back. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open your heart. Lift your gaze. Very gentle back bend here. Now this might feel enough for you. And remember you can roll through that right foot so that the whole of your right foot is on the earth. Now your left toes might be tucked or untucked. If you wish to tuck them in so that your heel lifts up towards you, you can do that. And then reach for your left heel. Keep supporting your lower back for the moment. And then when you're ready, and only if you're ready, reach overhead with your right arm. Drawing your shoulder blades together, open across your heart. One more breath and you might wobble here. Remember to protect your back at all times. Exhale. Release your hands, support your back. And then let's bring our hands down to the earth, either side of our right foot. Relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. Gentle release for the back here. And now we're going to move into the low lunge. So really drop into that right hip so that your left leg is at a diagonal. I love wearing this dress for yoga. It's the only yellow thing I had is this dress. Yellow doesn't really suit my skin colouring. Makes me look a bit jaundiced. But I'll wear yellow for Basant Panchami. Right, really dropping here. You can come into your mudras, reach overhead, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha, the Bija mantra. And if you need to pad your left knee, you can pad your left knee. Just make sure I look respectable. One more breath here. As you exhale, let's bring the hands to the inside of that right foot. And remember, we're going to swing that left leg behind. So the left foot is behind, toes can be tucked. This right knee is at a right angle. So again, shuffle around, yogi's choice. I mean, if I was just doing my practice, I would just probably do whatever I wanted. Take my time here, right hand on that right knee. Take a moment here. Let's reach overhead with our mudra, Gyan or Saraswati mudra, whichever one is easier for you to come to. Take a moment here. Now, let's extend that right leg long. Exhale over to the right. Gate pose, Varigasana. Inhale through center, over to the left. Fingertips come to the earth. One more breath here. Let's bring both hands to the earth. Rotate on the ball of that right foot and swing that lower left leg round. Come back into neutral. And here, let's do some circles. One way with the hips, and then circles the other way with the hips. And we're going to come into child's pose just for a moment because we've been working quite a lot on our lower back. Your knees can be as wide as your mat, or they can be closer together, big toes touching if your knees are wide. And rest your eyebrows centered directly on the earth or a cushion, Arms can be reaching overhead, or you can have them folded alongside your body. Yogi's choice. Curled up like a bud here. Oh. We're going to do this practice next time because there's so much richness to this practice that I'd like to bring in. An hour often isn't long enough for these practices. One more breath. Inhale, lift your gaze. Take a moment here. Take a full breath here. Now we're going to move into full Ustrasana, and then we're going to start moving. Come onto your knees one more time. You may tuck your toes or have them untucked, yogi's choice. Let's bring our mudra at the heart. Begin to draw your shoulder blades together. And then when you're ready, you can take your hands to your lower back when you begin to feel that your back bend is coming into place. Now, this back bend may be very subtle for some of us. It may be very deep for others. Draw your shoulder blades together, hips above your knees. So you have the sense that your pelvis is moving forward and your shoulder blades are drawing together. Your sternum is lengthening. Your collarbones are broadening. And then when you're ready, reach back for one heel with one hand first, and then with the other hand. Or come into your half variation. So always supporting the lower back with one. One more breath. And if you have half variation here, come back slowly, support your lower back before bringing the hand to the other heel. And whenever you're ready here, for some of us may want to stay longer, for some of us we may want to stay less time. Supporting your lower back when you come into neutral spine, gently moving your hips back towards your heels. Then bring the crown, top of the crown to the earth. Your hands and forearms can act as scaffolds. Your crown is just gently brushing the earth here. You're not putting any weight into it. You can round, tuck your heels round your spine. Tuck your toes rather. How will tucking your heels move? And then when you're ready, into mountain pose. So spread your fingers wide. Inhale, lift your tailbone and pedal your feet here. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold, softening here. Allow your neck, shoulders to soften. Inhale to uncurl your spine. Come up to standing. Turn on your mat so you can face the long edge of your mat. And come to the center of your mat, into Tadasana. Take a full breath here. Now let's shift the weight onto our left leg. You can bring your hands into your Saraswati mudra, or you can bring them into your Gyan mudra. Bend into your right knee and cross the right leg in front of the left. And come onto the ball of that right leg. And you can really stick out your hip here, your left hip. And then let's take our arms out in a V shape, Gyan Mudra here. Reach up your right arm up towards the back of the room, left arm reaching down towards the front of the room. So as if you are holding a sitar or a veena. Gaze down towards the earth, really extending along the length of your body here. That ball of that foot is deeply connected with the earth. If you wish, you can always come onto the sole of your foot, but you might lose your balance if your knees are really touching each other. You might need to move your foot further away to do that. One breath here. As you exhale, now comes a tricky move. We've done this before. We're going to spin round to the left, all the way, pivot on our feet, and then come into this pose on the other side. If you've got a sticky mat like mine, you might take a few moments. So let's go back. We were here at the front, right leg in front of left, right arm reaching behind, left arm. And you can see all this space on the left side. So we turn into that space, pivot on the balls of our feet. So that left foot stays connected with the earth. We swing this right leg around and we come back onto this side. And this time, let's have the right hand down towards the earth. Right leg is still in front of the left. The left leg stayed connected with the earth. One breath here, come back to center, uncross your leg, shake it out. We're going to go the other way. So you might have lost your balance in that. So the aim is just we're going to pivot on that same foot. This is our pivot leg, the left leg. Now we're going to have the right leg as our pivot leg. So come into your Tadasana. Shift the weight into your right leg. Bend into your left knee and cross that leg over, coming onto the ball of your foot. And really stick out your hip over to the right now. Here you go. Your hands can be in your Gyan Mudra or your Saraswati Mudra, yogi's choice. And then open out your arms, and this time right arm down towards the earth, left arm up behind us. And if you need to adjust your balance, so open across your heart. One breath here. We're going to do that pivot. So remember, we're pivoting on the ball of our right foot. And all the way, and we slide, the floor wasn't so sticky. We'd slide that left leg over, but my foot is getting stuck. And then we'll be back on this side. So let's turn our arms. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Shake out your legs. Beautiful Saraswati. Now, normally the floor's not sticky. You could add a little bit of music, a little bit of swing, rock and roll, dancing. We do Gita. In India, we do very traditional Gita. We listen to Bhangra music. We're properly dancing. Let's come into our Tadasana. Take a moment here. One breath here. We're going to come down to the earth. And we're going to build on this practice on Saturday morning. Because it's late at night now, I'm not going to do too much of the, not too energetic practice today, but we'll continue this practice next time. And we'll bring in some of our warrior sequences. One breath here. Let's take our feet out wide. Turn out your toes. Bend into your knees to come into goddess pose, Devyasana. Come into your mudra. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Open out your arms. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, open, reach overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Open out one more time. Inhale up. Exhale to your heart. Turn. over to the right, turn your left foot, hinge over to the right, your Saraswati mudra at your heart. Take a moment here, crown reaching forward, tailbone reaching back to center, goddess pose. And then let's turn to the left leg, turn the toes to the right leg and hinge over here. One more breath. Back to center. And then let's come down through squat down to the earth. Take a moment. And then let's support ourselves as we come to the earth. Oh, reach forward. Gyan Mudra, open your heart. Let's lift the right toes. We're going to come into Nokasana, boat pose. So you can have one leg extended and then the other. You can lift both legs. Your feet can be flexed or heels. This is very, and your hands can be reaching, supporting you on the earth. Yogi's choice. One breath more. Exhale, lower to the earth. Hug your knees in. Pavan Muktasana. Gently roll on your lower back. Open out your arms and drop your knees over to the left. Recline, twist. Supta Matsyendrasana. Take a moment there. And now, let's inhale to center, hug in your knees, keep your core engaged as you move through center. And then let's release the knees over to the right. Inhaling to center, hug in both your knees, Pavan Muktasana. Inhale, lift your eyebrows center towards your knees, hug it all in. And then let's extend our arms and legs long. And you can rest in Shavasana for a minute or so, or beyond at the end of our practice as you feel drawn. So Basant is one of the 6 seasons of India, Ritu. The 2 seasons that are more than the seasons we celebrate in the West is monsoon season, Varsha, and early winter, Sharad. No, early winter is Hemant, Hemant. Sharad is autumn. And then Hemant follows Sharad. Again, the season of spring has come, and a spring source rises under everything, a moon sliding from the shadows. Again, the season of spring has come, and a spring source rises under everything, a moon sliding from the shadows. Inhale, hug everything in. Pierre is saying it's time to awaken from your rest. Roll over onto one side, preferably your left side. And sleeping baby there, sleeping Krishna. And then when you're ready, with helping hands, rising up to your seat. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart and rubbing your palms together. Creating some warmth between your palms. And then let's place our palms over our eyes. Open your eyes into this warmth and visualize yellow, the yellow of nature, of daffodils, of marigolds, sunflowers. Mustard flowers. Draw your hands down away from your eyes. Let's close our practice by chanting Saraswati Bija Mantra and Om Shanti 3 times. Inhale to prepare. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, yogis. I really miss my mum at the moment. I would be eating some very traditional foods today. Some really sweet jalebi, sweet laddus, sarson ke saag, which is like spinach made out of the mustard leaves, with makki ki roti, which is yellow cornmeal chapatis, like breads, and eating sweet saffron rice